Most motorcyclists at some point or other want to buy themselves a really nice leather motorcycle jacket. Now, they're not always the most practical of choices, but they do look very nice. Some of them are more practical than others. Obviously, they all come at different price points, but we compiled 5 of our absolute favorite leather motorcycle jackets for 2021. Feel free to let us know if you've missed any of your favorites. If you want to know more details on any of these jackets specifically, follow the links in the description. But without any further ado, let's get started. If we start though with one of my favorite brands when we're talking about leather motorcycle gear, and that is Goldtop. There are more than a few different reasons I like them. One being that I actually have a jacket from them. This is the 76. I actually bought the bobber myself, which is a different style, but obviously similar kinds of materials. One of the other reasons I like them is the heritage that you get here. So they've been around since the 50s. You get a nice classically styled, elegant leather jacket. So it has a lot of heritage in there and it has that older kind of style to it. I also really like the affordability of these jackets, even in spite of the quality of the leather. These actually come in at £379, so very affordable for a leather motorcycle jacket. And the finish is fantastic on these as well, thanks in part, well, for the majority actually, to the leather that they use and the treatment of that leather. So on this, they have a 1.4mm thick aniline cowhide leather. It is so flexible, so comfortable, and probably one of the most flexible jackets I'm going to show you here today. It's also going to be one of the thickest, so as I say, it's 1.4mm thick, but that will add some warmth. On top of that, you have a really nice liner in this, but it is quilted again and non-removable, so that's also going to add to the warmth for this jacket. I'd say it would do you for the majority of spring, little bits of summer, and obviously autumn as well, but it is going to be a slightly warmer jacket. There are some really nice features across this. It is obviously a classic sort of cafe racer style. It looks reminiscent of something from the 70s. You've got this quilting on your shoulders, your elbows, you've got little buckles across it as well. You've got a drop back on it, so if you are leaning over the bike slightly more aggressively, it will stop it from exposing your lower back to the elements, keep you a little bit more comfortable. And you've got 2 pockets on the outside, not too much storage obviously to keep it nice and clean as a design, but you've got 2 more on the inside if you need. And they're a decent kind of size. You've also got zips around your wrist. That's one thing I would pick them up on, is that it's quite thick around that area, so when it folds over on itself, you can feel that slightly against your arm, which is a bit of a shame. But they have improved it over older versions. It's slightly better on this one. Then you come to probably the most important thing, the safety with this jacket. And obviously it's a nice thick leather jacket, so you would expect it to do well. This actually has a CE AAA certification, so it is nice and safe. That's currently as high as they test, so it's a really safe jacket. On top of that, of course, you get armor, but it is Nox armor. We really like Nox's armor. It's the Microlock armor from Nox. The reason we do like it as much as we do is because it works over a larger range of temperatures, so it's currently one of the safest you can get. That's level 1 in your elbows and shoulders. It hasn't got a back protector, but it of course has a pocket if you want to include it. From my own experience, I would say these are slightly on the snug side. I'm a 38-inch chest, and with this one actually it's the 40 that I would go for, just to allow a bit of extra room on these. It either comes in black or brown, as you can see here, and again, as I say, these come in at £379. Next up, and sticking with British brands, we have the Merlin Gable waterproof motorcycle jacket. Now, I said before, leather motorcycle jackets aren't the most practical choice. That is, of course, unless you're buying the Merlin Gable, which is about as practical as a leather jacket can get. As I say, this is fully waterproof, so that's a really nice feature and not something you often find with leather motorcycle jackets. It's also relatively thick, so it's going to be a nice warm leather jacket. Arguably the only thing it may lose out on is really hot days. It has got a liner that you can remove, that's 125 grams, and if it is a hotter day, then obviously take that out. But even with that out, this is 1.3 to 1.4mm thick cowhide leather, so it is going to be a less breathable jacket, but I'd sacrifice that for the other practicalities that you get with this. On top of that, if it wasn't enough, this jacket is also CE AAA certified, so it is as safe as they currently test, and it comes in at £399.98. For all the features you get here, that's a very affordable price. With the safety, I should also mention, it actually has a full set of armor, where a lot of jackets will forego the back armor for the sake of cost. This actually has D3O level 1 armor in your elbows, your shoulders, and your back, which is a really nice bonus. If you want to check these out, they come in either black or oxblood. For the sizing, I would say they are pretty true to size. I'm a 38-inch chest, it's the 38 that fits me in this one, but if you are ordering online, of course, check that size guide before you do. If you want something a little bit more statement, maybe something that's going to stand out slightly more, then the Helstons Tracker is a decent one to look at. These, I'll just say to start with, come in at £389, so again, fantastically affordable. Like the Merlin, this is also a waterproof jacket. It's got a waterproof membrane in there, which is a nice consideration. The leather is also cowhide. It's 1.1 millimeters thick this time. Not overly noticeable. I'd say it's maybe slightly more flexible than the Merlin previously. Obviously, it's got loads of different accents across it. It's got some quilting there on your arms. It's got more pockets as well, so you've got 5 on the outer, a little bit more storage, but that changes the style slightly as well. And you've got these actually removable patches. They're Velcro attached down the bottom right there, which not everyone's gonna like, but at least, as I say, you can remove them. If you really want to stand out, this comes in either the black that you can see here or white, which actually, strangely enough, sells better for us on the store. And then on the inside, you've got 2 pockets, as well as a removable body warmer. So if it's a warmer ride, obviously you can take that out. But as with a lot of the jackets I've shown you so far, this is definitely going to be a warmer kind of jacket, much less vented than you'll find with their textile alternatives. If we're talking about the big differences though, aside from the style, this is CE level A certified, so it hasn't got that AAA rating that I've shown you thus far. It does have some decent armor in it. You've actually got level 2 in your arms, your elbows and shoulders, and you've got back armor included. That's level 1. This is all from Smoothways though, so it's not my personal favorite out of the ones I've shown you. We've had D3O so far and Nox. Those for me would be my preference over the Smoothways armor, mainly from a comfort standpoint. This is just not quite as good at regulating heat, so on a colder ride it does get a little bit more stiff and less comfortable. But it is nice all the same that they do include that back armor. I'll say again, this comes in at £389 for all the features and the quality that you get here. That's a very, very affordable price. But do check the size guide once again if you are going to order these online. You knew it was coming at some point. If we're talking about our favorite leather motorcycle jackets, we have to include a Belstaff in there. They're fantastic quality, but maybe not the one you were expecting. We have gone with the Belstaff Cheetham, which is a new design from them, and it stands out as a new design from Belstaff. It does look quite different to the rest of their range. That's one of the reasons we chose it. It's also very popular, which is a sign that you guys like it as well. Let's start with the price, because this is a Belstaff. Obviously, it's going to be slightly more expensive than the jackets I've shown you thus far, but not maybe as much as you're expecting. £695 for this. For a lot of their leather work, a lot of their leather jackets, you could expect it to be around the £1,000 mark. So this is a much more affordable price, much more palatable price for a Belstaff leather. For someone who wants a Belstaff leather, that kind of jacket that's going to last you that lifetime, this might be more appealing because of that price point. Because of the new style of it as well, if you already have a Belstaff jacket and you want something that looks a little bit different, you don't want to buy 2 of the same jacket, then this is also a fantastic choice. One of the things I think that helps it stand out is the leather they've gone with on this. So obviously this is a calfskin leather. I'm led to believe that's slightly more flexible. It is slightly better for abrasion resistance. On the flexibility argument, I would say with the Goldtop that I mentioned previously, it is one of the most flexible jackets we've got. I would say this is the other one. It's very flexible, very comfortable, straight off the hanger. That leather is 1 to 1.1 millimeters thick, and it's got that grainy finish, which again makes it stand out from the rest of the Belstaff range. It also makes it stand out from most leather jackets. A lot of them have this shiny kind of finish to them. I'd say with the grain on this one, it helps neutralize it to a certain degree because it absorbs that light a little bit better. You've got some really nice metal details and features across this, like the zip pockets on your chest, obviously. You've got things that are more reminiscent of Belstaff, like the quilting that you've got on your shoulders and your elbows and your lower back. It's got a bit of a drop back to it, but not too extreme. Obviously slightly thicker in these areas again. And then once you open it up, you'll see this satin looking red liner, this quilted liner on the inside. That's really nice and appealing as well. And you've got a bit of corduroy around your neckline and your waistline as well to make it more comfortable. For safety, this jacket has been through CE level A testing. Maybe a bit of a shame it didn't achieve higher, but it's still a safe jacket. And you've also got armor included in your elbows, your shoulders, and a pocket for a back protector if you want from D3O. It comes in black and black alone, and I would say for the sizing, it is very true to size. So again, 38-inch chest, the medium is bang on my size in this one. A similar end of the spectrum to the Belstaff, but this time with an American brand. We have Roland Sands design. We have the RSD Clash with us in the studio. We could quite easily and happily have substituted that out for the Ronin if you want a more subtle kind of design. Obviously this is a little bit more statement, a little bit more standout. There are some very attractive features and details across this. The materials are going to be the same between the two. It just depends which one you prefer the look of. Both the Ronin and the Clash come in either black or tobacco. With the Clash, I would say they've walked right up to that line where they don't want to put too much on, where it looks a little bit garish. I'd say they've met that line perfectly. So obviously it's got a lot more details across this one. You've got that asymmetric zip on the front. You've got this quilting obviously across your shoulders, your lower back, some really nice standout features there. And then you've got these rivets on your elbows as well. One of the things I would like to highlight and champion on RSD are the zip closures. So actually on the pockets, they're closed when they're in the down position. It might seem like a small or trivial matter, but it's much more usable to close downwards rather than up when you're sat on the bike. It is a cowhide leather once again. It's 1.1 millimeters thick, perhaps a little bit stiffer to start with than the Belstaff that I showed you, but it will break in nicely. And that is a hand finished, washed and waxed cowhide leather. All of these jackets actually have really nice liners on them. The Roland Sands is no different and possibly the nicest liner actually out of the ones I've shown you. Certainly one of the softest, and it's got this lovely gold satin finish to it. It sits at a comfortable middle ground for safety, so this is CE AA approved, and it includes armor from SASTEC in your elbows, your shoulders, and a pocket for a back protector if you want to put one in. Lastly, I will say that in terms of the fit, this is quite different to a lot of the jackets I've shown you today, in that it is more of an American fit. It's much more accommodating. If you want a bit more room with your fit, this is a decent brand to look at, definitely. So these come in at £650 in either the black or the tobacco. With all that said and done, please let us know what you think of our selection. Let us know if you feel like there's anything we missed out. If you want to know more about any of these jackets, follow the links in the description. Obviously check the size guide before you order any of these things online. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.